Okay, finding slope 4 different ways. If you're going to find it from a graph, you just remember you always want to read every single graph from left to right, meaning you start on the left point, go to the right point. Find 2 good points, go from left to right. Now, this foldable does already have the answers in there, so I need you to follow along as best as you can because I know you guys get bored very easily. So you always rise and I also put or drop. If you're going to rise, it's going to be positive. If you drop, it's going to be negative. So make sure you fill that in as well. You should be following along with me. So in the example that in the example that I've given you, it literally says, what is the slope? The other words that it could ask you, or the other words it could use for slope are what? Nope, doesn't have it here. Other words for slope. What are other words for slope? Rate of change is the number one phrase that they use to represent slope, but rate of change is slope. They're the same exact thing. What's another word? Per, like miles per hour, minutes per second, hours, dollars per hour, say if you're working a job. What else? There's 2 words that are super similar. Starts with an E. Each and every. Like every student, every 1 in 4 students is going to be absent at least once this year. Something like that, some kind of statistic. Each, every, oh, and the very unpopular, but just in case, got to cover all my bases, ratio. The ratio of freshmen to seniors. For every freshman for every 4 freshmen, there's 1 senior. Because I don't know why it is, but every time we get down to our senior year and everything, your class size just drops. That's good. Well, can't say it in the video, whatever. So rise over run. You're either going to go up or you're going to go down, and always to the right, always to the right. So in this case, if I'm going to go from the left side to the right side, I'm going to go up 3, which it says rise 3, so making it positive, and then we run 1. Now with every fraction, you have to remember that you need to reduce or simplify. Simplify. In other words, math enter. Make sure you put every single fraction in your calculator and press math enter. And 3 divided by 1 will just give you 3. So the slope of this line is 3. Now, you could pick 2 points and put it into stat edit. If you're given a table like so right here, you can type all of those points into stat edit. And because we're talking about slope, and it does literally right here say, it says linear relationship, you know you're going to pick option 4. You know you're going to pick option 4, linear regression, once you go to stat calc. Okay. It does ask, what is the slope of the line? There's another clue. But anything with slope, anything that's describing slope, anything that's asking for slope is only associated with linear relationships. Slope, you can only get a slope with a straight line. You cannot get the slope of a parabola. You cannot get the slope of an exponential function. But from here, it will give you this screen. And how do you change between these 2? Which one is my slope? A. And how do you change that to a fraction? Math enter. Just in case, we take that 1.6, type in the 1.6, and then you press math enter, and it'll give you your fraction. So in the home screen, you can type negative 1.6, math enter, and there's your slope in fraction form, 8/5. These are equal. This is the decimal version of the slope. This is the fraction version of the slope, okay? So you could always use stat edit. Next, say they give you 2 points. Say they give you 2 points. Same thing. You can make your own table. Just because they give you the points separately doesn't mean you can't put it into your own table. And I've already created that table for you. So I created the table. I put it into L1, L2. And because it's asking for slope, we know automatically slope is only associated with lines, with straight lines. So you would have to use 4, linear regression. linear regression. And it does give you -2 and 1. And between the -2 and -1, which one is my slope? -2. So that's the answer you should be looking for, unless it's asking you for the whole equation. Then you can put all that together. If you're trying to find the slope from an equation, you have to make sure the equation is solved. Make sure it is solved, keyword, meaning that it's in y equals form. Because one of the examples in the packet that you received yesterday was not solved. So I can't simply take the 5, and the 5 was probably an answer choice, because a lot of students go straight to the number in front of x and say, oh, well, there's my slope. Not paying attention to the fact that the equation is not in y equals, it's not in slope intercept form. So you have to solve by subtracting the 5x and then dividing. A lot of mistakes that are made is whenever you're bringing down that 12y, you need to bring the negative down with it. So when we divide by a -12, -5 divided by -12 gives me a positive, and 24 divided by -12 gives me -2. And then you can find your slope. Your slope is the number, just the number in front of x, not including x, okay? All right, so from there, you should be able to finish that slope packet, which is packet number 9.